Hi everybody, I'm JJ Asghar. I'm going to tell you everything you know about Kubernetes in 19 slides. Unfortunately, most of this is you already heard a bit of this because of what Nova did earlier today, but we're going to go through it again. Is it going? Yeah. Oh, there we go. First thing first, kubectl. Yes, it's kubectl, not kubectl, because you want to give your Kubernetes clusters hugs, right? You want to cuddle. Most important thing, containers. Containers are the building blocks of Kubernetes. It just sits on top of it. It is the smallest bit that it understands, the way it actually does the thing. Come on. Pods. Pods are basically the entity that, Kubernetes understands. It's the smallest portion. It's what you tell to run. You have one or more containers inside of the pods, and if you've ever heard of Istio, that is how they do it, something called a sidecar. Deployments. Deployments are basically the way you tell Kubernetes, always run this thing. So in this case, you have deployment replica of 2. You have 2 pods, A1, A2. You can roll back and upgrade that way too. No. There we go. Nodes. Nodes actually are the things that run Kubernetes. It is basically just compute. You can run, as you can see, you have a way to have multiple different pods on different nodes, et cetera, et cetera. They all have Kubernetes. But nodes actually don't matter. This is the most important part that got me to understand Kubernetes myself. It's a shared API to compute. That's all it really is. You tell Kubernetes, go run this pod, it will make sure that it's always running. It's just an API to compute. If something blows up, for instance, pod A2 right there, it will, as soon as it blows up, the orchestrator takes it and runs it somewhere else that it can. For instance, on that far pod over there on the right. Okay, let's talk about some internal concepts of Kubernetes. Also, K8S is how you shorten it because Kubernetes is hard to spell. 15 seconds. Now, there we go. Internal service discovery is done by something called kubedns. If you look here on the far right, that is a very simple service definition to open up port 80 to target port of 5000 on a pod. That is all the YAML that you need. But that is a very simple explanation. Namespaces exist inside of it. They're basically a way to slice up your Kubernetes cluster into walled gardens. You can have the exact same thing on both sides, just with one called your application and my application. Good way to do QA, dev, prod. Node ports, don't use these. If you're using them, you're doing something wrong. It is a way to direct one external port to a pod C port, or pod C on this one. But no more. What you will see more of are load balancers. Load balancers have an insane amount of options to it, and there's actually a pluggable architecture to put other types inside of it. 9 out of 10 times you'll see load balancers more than anything, because you can have n number of pods underneath it. Damn it, I'm so close. Okay, Ingress. This is actually the hardest one, and I have 2 slides for this one. This is how you wire up basically a very simple application. And as you see here on this Ingress service definition, this is how you get foo web to talk to pod C that talks to a data port of another service with, this shouldn't actually be a database, but whatever. Don't run databases in Kubernetes. Don't run databases in Kubernetes. But it does exist that way. Okay, let's talk about the ecosystem. Kubernetes has a very wide, vast ecosystem, and I'm going to hit a couple of them right now. First one first. Helm. Now, doing a little, here we go, Helm, because we all need another package manager, right? That is what Helm is. It is basically a way to be able to take something called charts to be able to install applications. It's a one-size-fits-all, super powerful, honestly kind of complex, but it is a package manager for Kubernetes. Istio, the service mesh. It allows you to do canary deployments, the ability to do red-green deployments using microservices, super powerful. Really, really, really awesome. And finally, Knative, or what I prefer to call it, K-serverless, because god damn it, why can't we call it just K-serverless? It's the ability to run serverless functions on top of your Kubernetes cluster. It's actually really tied into Istio right now, which won't be for long. The next slide, if you want to take a picture of it, is this one. And this is my final slide. First, I am from IBM. We do run Kubernetes clusters. I can give you them for free. Also, if you ever have any questions, yes, I do have awesome@ibm.com as my email address, and I'd love to talk about this stuff more.